Hey, what's up guys? We're back again with a good Mega Knight deck for the new meta. It's currently played by the number 22 player in the world. When players aimlessly bridge spam random cards at the river, your witch will be ready to collect some positive elixir trades. They'll be going right into skeletons or spear goblins from your hut. And if they spam too much stuff, they'll get cleaned up on sight by your Mega Knight. And all the pesky bait decks on ladder are going to be screaming that this deck is broken, because there's no way for them to counter the immense amount of splash damage that you have with Mega Knight, Witch, Arrows, and Bar Barrel. On your counter push, you're going to be turning the game into Skeleton Royale, flooding the entire arena with skeletons everywhere. The Witch and the Skeleton King will be spamming skeletons from the front, while the graveyard completely surrounds the tower. While Mega Knights are constantly jumping and Spear Goblins are rushing through, this is one of the most difficult decks to defend in the game. So let's embrace the new Mega Knight meta and assert dominance. If you don't have Skeleton King, use Dark Prince instead. Lots of love to everyone that's using creator code SirTag to support the channel. This guy had poison in his banner. Let's see if he's going to be a challenge for us, or if we'll just blow him away with our Skeleton King value. So he's going to go in for a mini P.E.K.K.A aggressively. I wonder if that even touches one of the zappies. Dude, last second it swiped one of my zappies. That's brutal. I thought we were going to perpetually stun that thing. So we're going to go for a Skeleton King on the left-hand side. This is rather risky. And when we see Barbarians and a Skeleton King counter with mini P.E.K.K.A, those are two interesting cards that I was not expecting. So I'm just going to play safe and buckle down for this wild ride that we have in store for ourselves. Our opponent's got Lightning, mini P.E.K.K.A, and Barbarians. I would love to say this is a Lava Hound deck, but I've never seen a Lava Hound deck with two mini tank killers, right? Have you ever seen something with mini P.E.K.K.A and also Barbarians and Lightning? Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think this is right now, because I'm baffled. So he's going to go Golem. Wow, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I've never seen Golem with Barbarians before in my life. Out of all the 6 years of playing Clash Royale, I have not seen this absurd deck combination. So we're going to go for a Witch on the left-hand side with this Graveyard Skeleton swarming the tower and the Witch Skeletons in the front. Don't know if this guy's able to stop it. So what I want to do here is I want to go for the Skeleton King, and then I want to be able to arrows on all these Night Witch bats. I can arrows on all the Night Witch bats. We can stop him from doing a lot of damage, and then we can also go in for the Skeleton King ability because we were able to collect the souls from the bats that we were able to kill to then distract the mini P.E.K.K.A. And remembering that our opponent has Lightning, it's going to be very hard for him to break through Zappies. Zappies are extremely good into Royal Giant Lightning, and it's super good into Electro Giant and Golem as well. So as you guys can see, I'm in a great spot. I don't think my opponent's going to be able to break through for the rest of the match. We have 700 HP on the tower, so he would have to Lightning twice. And if he does that, he's going to get 3 crowned by a Mega Knight plus Graveyard Push, which is probably just going to happen right now, actually. I think he's going to go in for a mini P.E.K.K.A, and we'll go in for a Graveyard, and then he will have no way of stopping it. So if you ever see someone being as adventurous as this, sir, you just take them to town and you make them frown. So I'm going to go in for the arrows here. I think that the Graveyard Skeletons do enough damage, and we just need to go in for one more good, jolly Graveyard. That was an extremely easy win. Let's bounce on the next one, and you guys can just see the super satisfying 3 crown with the Barbarian slapping our opponent in the face, while all he can do is sit there and watch the chaos unfold. This guy had Rocket in his Mastery banner, and I was really hoping he would rocket through with a Goblin Barrel. My deck is destined to crush log bait, and that's not what we're playing against today. Wow, double spawners, okay. You know, you just had to take up the toxicity a notch. After you see one spawner, it's not good enough for you. You need multiple of them, my dude. So I'm going to go for the Goblin Hut here with the Mega Knight and just try to apply a lot of aggression when he's at a limited amount of elixir. If he's going to go for a Prince, that's totally fine for me, because I think I'm going to be able to arrows on the Spear Goblins and then also force out more elixir from our dude. Because the Spear Goblins are able to pursue a really good offense on top of the Prince before the Baby Dragon gets up close and personal. And then we're also able to distract the Prince really nicely as well. So it's going to have a weird Hawk Rider deck. I think this is what ladder throws at you as you're pushing up the ranks. You don't necessarily know what to expect from your opponent. But since we're going to end up having Skeleton King with Witch and then also Mega Knight, the defenses that this deck has is super stellar. So I'm stoked to figure out what he's going to be doing. And I don't want to be going for too many graveyards in single elixir because it might just cost too much elixir. So instead, I'll go for the 2 elixir graveyard with the Skeleton King, hopefully tank for our Witch for a little bit longer, and then go for a Barbarian Barrel to tank for our Witch even longer afterward. Dude, I think you're dead. I think you have no way of stopping this. We have an ineffable amount of tanks, and we are messing you up real bad. So this is how the deck works. Sometimes you just get momentum with the Goblin Hut, or the Graveyard, or the Skeleton King, or the Witch. And as you guys can see, if you do any of those things and your opponent's down elixir, you get a whole bunch of units spawned for free, causing your opponent misery because they're not going to get free units. And you'll simply steamroll them with all your free stuff. Wait, are we going to 3 crown him? Oh my gosh. That was way too satisfying. 3 crowning dirty double spawner decks is exactly what I love to see. All right, we got a game against Balder. So we'll see what he's going to do. Is he going to be like a boulder? Is he going to start rolling through with a lot of stuff? Or is he just going to simply wait and play like passively? I'm going to go for a log on top of the spear goblins and hit our tower instead of hitting the hut. So I think that's okay for me. It's not the end of the world. He's going to go for an ice spear and a log. So this is making me feel like we are probably playing against a fast cycle player. So I definitely want to go in for the Spear Goblin Hut collection squad of the Skeleton King. He's going to go for Goblins, Ice Spear. Is this the Mortar fast cycle deck with Poison and Archer Queen? I'm guessing that's going to be the deck today. So I want to go for a Graveyard, and I want to go in for a Barbarian Barrel on the right-hand side, so we can always keep our opponent guessing. Because we got the Skeleton King on the left-hand side with the Spear Goblins, and we're forcing out all of his spells on the right-hand side with the Royal Delivery and the Log. So if you don't have spells, it might spell your doom. That is incredibly efficient for us. So this is how you play the deck. You're able to do dual lane pressure when your opponents add a low amount of elixir, or they have a limited amount of spells in their arsenal. Most people will only have log. This guy's got log and Royal Delivery, and it still wasn't enough to stop us. Dual lane pressure is imperative with this deck if you want to maximize the efficiency. And that's what we plan on doing. Also, since the guy has Rocket, I'm not going to be cycling my Witch behind my tower. Also, Goblin Huts are going to be really good in this type of situation. If you're ever playing against someone that you feel is going to have a control deck and they don't have Hog Rider, you kind of want to go for your Goblin Hut a little bit lower. So then if they've got Princess or Dark Goblin and they drop it in the middle, they won't be able to snipe your Dark Goblin counters, you know? Like, they won't be able to snipe your Spear Goblins, they won't be able to snipe any of your stuff, and then you'll be able to stop the Dark Goblin with your Spear Goblins just clogging up and getting your opponent's Dark Goblin across the river. So just drop your Spear Goblin Huts lower, and then you won't get a low amount of value from your hut. What are we going to do? Oh, wait, look at that. Why is the Spear Goblin, like, locking onto the tower for 2 hits? Sneaky, sneaky Spear Goblin, being a ninja assassin, punishing our opponent. Okay, this is really good. We can just go for a Barbarian Barrel, and I think I'm able to kill the Goblins and then also crush the Miner as well. Very good trade. I think I want to go and click the Skeleton King ability. I hope it survives the Inferno Tower. Let's go! The Inferno Tower ran out of life. Just a little bit more fire. And despite this opponent's desire, it did not have enough to live. Okay, so I think we can go for a Spear Goblin Hut. I don't think the Dark Prince is going to be able to hit the tower with a charge. Wow, it still somehow splashed onto it. It wasn't a charge, but it still gave him something. Oh, no. Yeah, I was thinking Royal Delivery would happen on the Zappies, but the Rocket is even worse. Bro, you're my worst nightmare at this point. Oh, you know the great thing about the deck? Is you don't need just like Skeleton King or Mega Knight to cross the river. Sometimes, if they go for like an Inferno Tower like that and they body block you, well, we didn't get to body block us because the Witch was spawning skeletons. You can go for the Barbarian Barrel to cross the river and guarantee that it's able to tank for the graveyard. So usually they're going to body block with Inferno Towers and stop your Mega Knights or Skeleton Kings, but they can't stop the Barbarian Barrel from transgressing on their territory and tanking for the graveyard and watch your opponent tank the game because then they have no way of countering everything. GG, well played and peace out. Gonna give him some love, and we'll bounce on the next one. And it doesn't surprise me because this deck was top 20 in the world. It should be dominating. Hey, let's get it. So this guy is not cycling anything at the start, which is exactly what we hate to see. We've got our Witch and Mega Knight for a reason. We're ready for the mega value, my man. Okay, all right, you're gonna drop a bomber in the back. This might look really stupid to you guys. You're like, why are you cycling a Witch into the bomber? Well, the Witch is gonna be able to distract the bomber with the skeletons, and, well, never mind. He's got lightning. Jeez. Lightning Bomber. This is screaming Golem at me. If this isn't a Golem deck, I don't know what it is. So I'm going to go for a Skeleton King to be able to snipe that Bomber quite quickly. And I'm going to Graveyard because most Golem decks don't have good answers. And if he's going to end up having like a Skeleton army or something along those lines, I could just arrows it. Yo, wait, you've got minions with Electro Giant? I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I want to click the Skeleton King ability because I might be able to get a little bit more damage. Even though I don't know if that was the best play in the world, it's going to work out for us. I can drop my Zappies pretty far away. I'm going to drop them in the back so we can't tornado them directly into the Electro Giant. If you try to do a terrible tornado, it would be funny. Always drop your range cards in the back against Electro Giant, whether it's a Witch or a Musketeer or Archer Queen, so then they can't tornado it directly into the Electro Giant, so then they can't get the reflection damage on your stuff. If there's a tower blocking the way and they try to tornado, it's really funny because they'll just waste their elixir. Obviously, horrible place for us to be in. The guy randomly had Balloon, and I wasn't ready for that at all. I guess I got to go for a Graveyard here because I don't think he's going to be back to his minions. If he's not back to the minions, I don't think he... Oh, wow, he really got back to minions before I was back to arrows. I thought your deck cycle was considerably clunkier than mine. Wow, this deck is surprising me at every twist and turn. I'm like, he's not going to be back to minions. He's definitely not going to have Electro Giant Balloon. And then he whips out the impossible and makes it possible. Jeez, dude. Wow, I'm pretty surprised by your gameplay right now, and it's working out for you. Usually, this deck is super safe no matter what matchup you play against, but I guess sometimes when someone pulls out like the next level, 10th level of crazy, it can even surpass this deck's defenses. So I'm going to go in for the Skeleton King here, and as you guys know, Goblin Hut is extremely good at countering Electro Giant. However, I have nothing for the balloon besides the zappies, so I kind of need to save them. All right, how are we going to play this? I guess I got to go Mega Knight so I can save my zappies. He's going to Lightning, but he's not going to Lightning on the weaker tower. The weaker tower will definitely die to a subsequent Lightning, so a little bit scared here. However, he might not have a good answer to the Witch because he just uses Lightning. I can go for a Graveyard effectively, and then arrows on top of the Bomber, and also hit the minions. Please, let's go. That's the value I'm talking about, baby. Yo, this is profound. Juicy, scrumptious, delectable skeletons. Let's get it. That is so nice. That was so good. We invited them to a dinner table meeting on top of the tower, and they devoured. So I can maybe go in for like zappies here and then go for a Goblin Hut and get him to Lightning, and that's completely okay. I think this is fine because I can go for a Barbarian Barrel here, and he's not going to be able to take the other tower. And if he decides to go in for a lot of spam, well, he's not going to have Lightning back in cycle for the right-hand tower, right? What is he doing? Why would he Lightning on top of the zappies? You killed the 3 zappies, but you didn't kill anything else. And in the end, my friend, both of your towers are going to go down if we just had one more second. Even if you get surprised with this deck, it's really resilient, allowing you to bounce back with plenty of sources to counterattack. With Graveyard, Skeleton King, and Spear Goblin Hut, there are plenty of ways of earning back your damage. All right, so jumping into the game. Since we have double small spells at the start, I kind of want to go for a Barbarian Barrel here. Jeez, that Dark Goblin's still going to hit my tower despite me swiping it with a Barbarian Barrel. It just doesn't feel right, man. He's going to go in for a Goblin Hut, and he's still going to take 2 Barbarian hits to the face? Wait, how did that happen? How did I get 2 Barbarian Barrel hits on the tower? I don't think I've ever seen that before in my life. Isn't it always 1? I am really confused on what happened there. Usually Barbarian Barrel only gets 1 hit on the tower every single time. Somehow I got 2. Is this tower snoozing? That is a ridiculous interaction that is kind of like glitched, because out of thousands of times that I've seen that, I have never seen that happen. Jeez. Anyway, this guy's going to have a Goblin Hut and a P.E.K.K.A, so not a great matchup for us if he's able to use his Goblin Huts in the exact same fashion that we do, and then has his P.E.K.K.A to go and counter our Mega Knight. So let's see what we can make happen here. However, the one good thing about it is the Mega Knight doesn't, actually have the horrible matchup against the Spear Goblins where his P.E.K.K.A will. P.E.K.K.A's just going to get permanently distracted while the Mega Knight splashes on through. So I'm going to go for a Graveyard here. We've got a lot of Witch Skeletons. We've got a ton of Skeletons from the Skeleton King, and we're playing against another double spawner player. What is up with Clash Royale and people playing this deck right now? Oh my gosh. He's got Freeze as well with Dark Goblin? What is this insanity, man? Please let me splash onto that. Let me finish off the Dark Goblin, and let me send him into the next game. You know what? Christopher Columbus Goblin Hut just for the memes. You know it's bad when you're BMing a double spawner player by dropping a Spear Goblin Hut and just flexing on them and saying, hey, I don't even need that elixir. So I'm working hard for that 3 crown, and he's hardly able to defend. GG, well played and peace out. Despite you having a double spawner deck with Dark Goblin and P.E.K.K.A to counter my Mega Knight and Graveyard, it simply wasn't enough. But when the P.E.K.K.A is permanently distracted by Spear Goblins and Skeletons from the Witch and Skeleton King, you're going to get profuse value. All right, so this guy's got a lot of Z's in his name, so hopefully he's sleeping. Nope, he's going to go and cycle something. And it's a Furnace. Dude, how many games are we going to play against double spawners today? It's literally burning and eating me alive with these Fire Spirits, bro. Fortunately for us, none of them wandered on top of our Witch. He's going to have Cannon Cart, so it might be Giant Skeleton Clone, actually. There's a chance that it's going to be something different. There's a chance. Oh, yes, I was actually right. Wow. I just felt like Clash Royale wouldn't match me up against the same deck like 10 times in one day. So this guy is going to have Fireball, Cannon Cart, and also Giant Skeleton. Super scary, because if he was able to delete the Mega Knight, I might have not been able to get anything in front to be able to body block it and stop it from connecting to my tower, because my cards are kind of very expensive here, right? Maybe I could get a Bar Barrel, but that takes a little bit of a while to roll out of the barrel. So in this type of situation, I think he could have Mother Witch. So I'm going to cycle my Skeleton King in the back and just wait to see what he drops. If he drops a card that makes me feel like he's not going to have Skeleton King counters, then we could go in for the Graveyard. But since he's going to go in for the Fly Machine and damages us down from the sky, we got to say hello to the Skeleton King spam and just click the ability so we can distract the Cannon Cart and maybe pulverize it on our opponent's side of the map. Also, Bar Barrel here isn't that bad, because I will be able to kill the Cannon Cart guaranteed then. I'm also just waiting to see if he goes in for a Dark Goblin, because then that's more arrows value. I want to see more stuff from our opponent that he just did not want to give me. He's not in the giving mood. Jeez, man, you're like, the holidays are over. You got to go and wait another 365 days for another Christmas, Jake. Okay, so we are going to be able to kill the Spear Goblins. I can maybe go in for a Graveyard if we get a good trade and get a good counter push, but it's really risky with this deck when you don't know what your opponent's playing to go in for Graveyards. Because if they've got Mother Witch, oh, yep, he had it. I knew there was a chance of that happening. If you mess up once against that card, you are obliterated. So when I don't understand what my opponent's deck is, I just play super safe, and I can't discount how important that is. I can go for arrows here if I absolutely need to, and I think I'm going to because I will be able to splash onto all of his junk. And hopefully we can trash that Mother Witch quick because I hate that card, man. Then I can start to go in for zappies, and then I can go in for a Goblin Hut if I want to, which I think I need to now. He's going to go for a Fireball, which is also fine, but that's going to get a lot of damage. Those piggies are tanking for a freaking century, man. Okay, so our method of coming back is to get a Mega Knight down and make him frown. So I'm going to go for the Mega Knight on everything at once, and then I think the skeletons are going to stay far enough back that they don't get turned into piggies. So I think we're okay here. Yeah, let's go. That was great. And we can arrows easily on top of the Spear Goblins, the Mother Witch, and also the Cannon Cart. So we're looking to be in an okay spot. Not the best position I've ever been, but it's something I can work with. The comeback potential is here. We've got Mega Knight, so we got to jump back in this game. We're going to go in for the Barbarian Barrel here. I'm going to go in for a Graveyard. I think the Bar Barrel is going to stay long enough for our Skeleton King to thrive, and then I can flourish with our Skeleton King in front. Skeletons are everywhere, and I don't think you can stop me. The Skeleton Swarm is too much for our Sir. And much like a Mega Knight, our Skeletons were able to jump and thump the tower and dwindle it down to a dump at 0 health. The moral of the story is never give up, never surrender with this deck. Like, subscribe for more daily videos, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.